Today, I'm watching Goosebumps Season 2, Episode 8. It was part 2 of the previous episode, this attack of the mutant with this comic book character, the masked mutant coming to life and attacking Skipper. That's what it seemed like when we ended things. It looked like, Skipper and the mutant were about to have this showdown, and of course it cuts to the credits right there. So I'm curious to see, this is the first, two-part Goosebumps episode that I've seen, so if it's warranted, if there's, what makes the story so interesting, why it needs more time to tell it. Actually, I think there might have been a two-part episode with the summer camp in season 1. It was a long time ago. I'm trying to remember. But either way, I'm curious as to, most episodes obviously are self-contained within the one episode. So if this was a longer book, let me know in the comments. I love this concept of a comic book character, coming to life. He seems like to be a villain, though. So Skipper and Libby were in his headquarters, which had suddenly appeared, in the real world. And if the characters are coming to the real world and, the sets are coming to the real world, what does that mean? Like, how is Skipper involved? And obviously he had, himself in the drawings that he found. So yeah, I'm very curious to see how this is all going to come to an end. And there's usually a twist involved. So I'm very curious to see what the twist will be, if Skipper will end up being the masked mutant, what that'll look like. But thank you so much for sharing and this first time watching with me. If you have any other suggestions for TV shows you think I should watch, please comment below. And if you want to have a say in what movies or TV shows I watch, be sure to join Patreon. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and check back often for more awesome content.
Please! Please what? Please don't threaten me with a cardboard cutout?
Ah, come on. That was a letdown. Ah.
Libby! Libby!
Whoa, it's alive! It's alive! The flashing eyes. Yeah, and just something's up with Libby for sure. She just disappeared completely. Yeah.
Along with a spaghetti, Skipper?
Oh, no, I'm just not that hungry.
There's a first. Mark it on the calendar.
Wow, this dad sucks.
That they start living in their fantasies. Now, is that what I have been saying or what?
That's what you've been saying? What were you about to say?
And now he's seeing his dad in like comic book format.
I don't want you spending so much time on algebra you don't get enough sleep.
Okay.
Yeah, something's up with him for sure. Doesn't look good.
A new foe for the mutant?
Yeah, it definitely feels like the mutant is somehow communicating with him through the comic books. Like in the previous one, it was like the invisibility curtain. So what's this one gonna say?
That's me.
Yeah, he's in them. Those are the drawings he saw.
Hallway. He knew that at any moment he could be destroyed.
Oh my god, that's grim. That'd be so bizarre to see yourself in comics like that.
Only the boy can save me now. Only the boy can save the world from the mass mutant's evil.
No pressure.
Is he? I'm right here.
And they're mixing real life in the comic, and now he has to go save this character. I have to save this comic book character, help! I need a ride!
Into comic books?
Yeah.
You gotta be careful with those things. They can warp your mind.
Why is everybody warning about like there's some horrible situation going on?
Be careful out there. Be real careful.
He's like, it's a tough part of town, but I'm gonna leave you here anyway, so bye! Good luck out there, do what you gotta do with your comics. There he is! Oh my god. Setting him into a trap. I definitely feel like this is a trap. Oh, why this organ music all of a sudden? What happened to our sci-fi music? Run, Skipper, run! I feel like this would be creepy because if you liked comic books and you'd be worried that you would end up showing up in one somehow and like have this mission now, or maybe that's what you wanted to be a part of the comics like that, but still, like, this kid's gotta save the world now? No pressure.
Help! Hey, kid! What took you so long?
Yes, I'm so excited. I'm so excited Adam West is in this. I saw his name in the credits of the previous one and I thought, okay, maybe it was just the voiceover. The danger, like, meter is at full capacity. Yeah, I love Adam West.
The Galloping Gazelle! You're real!
Real tired of waiting.
Also, Galloping Gazelle is like the least threatening villain name ever.
I can't believe this.
I'll give you my autograph later. Hurry.
Oh my god, yes.
Fight the evil forces, aren't you? What's your name?
Skipper.
Weird name for a superhero.
Yes, I love this.
Dude. Gazelle to League of Good Guys. Gazelle to...
It's just called League of Good Guys. Okay, he's not a villain then.
Control to read my thoughts and hurry to my rescue.
No, I just took the bus.
It's like just public transportation. I'm just a regular guy.
Thanks, kid. Now, let's pay him a surprise visit.
Whoa! That was fun. And his antlers on his helmet because he's a gazelle.
Take an elevator?
No climbing abilities, huh? You know, kid, if you're gonna be a superhero, you gotta start working out. All right, we'll take the stairs.
He's like taunting him. He's like, how can you call yourself a superhero? You have no powers. Can't even fly? Come on, man. He's like, you're rescuing me? I think it's the other way around.
We only have to save the planet.
I love it so much. This is by far my favorite episode just because Adam West is in it as this Galloping Gazelle.
Not nearly as impressive as the control room for the League of Good Guys. We have a soft drink machine.
And that sells it then.
Just take a little off the top, trim around the horns, please.
Oh my god, their plan is to just wait here for him to show up? That's a terrible plan.
Not a very comfortable chair either.
Oh, what? The chair has snakes for arms?
I've got an idea. Shall I give it a whirl?
Whoa! Oh my god, that's terrifying. What is this whirling doing?
Gee, I was just getting comfortable.
And the chair becomes the mutant. Da 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 da.
Look at that windbag.
That's the gazelle's power as he just spins really fast. Creates wind. And then runs away.
Wait, where are you going?
He's right, I'm too old for this superhero stuff. You're on your own, kid.
That's terrible. He's like, you know what, actually, I can't do this. I thought I could, but, you know, not for me. So good luck, kid. Hopefully it doesn't get you. And his face on the the door. Oh my god. Adam West just left him behind.
Now you.
Look, the silver swan!
Classic distraction. Slowest elevator. Oh, there's Libby. I was wondering who she went.
No, please. I'll just leave and take a bus home. And I won't tell anybody. Honest.
Can let you leave.
Oh my god. Yeah, I knew she was suspicious.
What are you gonna do?
Destroy you, of course.
Oh my god, that's menacing.
A character in a comic book, but I'm real. I'm a real boy.
Said Pinocchio. I'm a real boy.
You're not real. You're a comic book character too.
What? This is getting bizarre for sure.
One of my better qualities. But I'm not lying this time.
Skipper's not real? What? Anymore? Whoa!
Yeah, I remember.
That was a scanner. And when you passed through it, it scanned your entire body.
Oh my god. Oh my god, what?
Just like me. Ah!
So he's not human anymore? What?
Say goodbye, Skipper.
I love this set. This headquarters is so cool. A lot of primary colors, but you know, here we are. He's gonna drop a giant hammer on him, literally. Oh my gosh.
Then who are you?
I'm the colossal elastic boy.
I feel like you just made that up on the spot.
I thought you looked familiar.
Well, goodbye, mutant. I have to go back to my home planet of Zargos. I can't get started on other comic books.
He's like, crossover is not permitted just yet. You know, we need to stick to our own storylines.
I don't think so. I'm gonna tear you into pieces, and then tear your pieces into pieces.
Oh my god, he really puts the supervillain and villain.
There's only one way you can destroy Elastic Boy.
What's that? If you don't mind me asking.
It's like, tell me how I can defeat you and we can get on with this.
That's the only way you can destroy my elastic body. Oops. Guess I shouldn't have said that.
Oh my god, what? What? I like how he's just going with the comic book character theme. He's like, okay, here's my powers, I guess.
You can change into a solid fat. But once you change into a liquid, you're dead.
Whoa! He defeated him! I'm melting! Oh my god, yep. He's like, I'll just turn to sulfuric acid then. It's like, oh, I should have told you. Gives him a comic book back. It's like, here you go, buddy. You destroyed your hero. That's an evil laugh. Is he gonna become the supervillain now? He just melted into the floor. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
What happened last night?
Mama, I don't want to talk about it. I'll tell you someday.
That'll be quite the conversation.
I won't get any on the furniture. I'm gonna go watch TV.
Oh, it's Elastic Boy. Those sound like elastic sounds. Yeah, that's him. Oh my god, he is a comic book character. Whoa! He turned himself into a... That's his catchphrase. Oh my god, yes, I love it. So that was my first time watching Goosebumps Season 2, Episode 8, Part 2 of this Attack of the Mutant comic book storyline. I definitely like the second half of the episode better. I feel like obviously they saved the more action-packed, you know, sequences for the second episode. I don't know that we needed the first episode to set everything up like that. I think they could have condensed it into one episode, but I'm glad they gave the second episode, you know, all this time to explore all these pieces, and I love that Adam West guest starred. That was so awesome. Definitely one of my favorite Goosebumps episodes that we've seen. Not necessarily for the storyline, although obviously I like the comic book element, but Adam West, for me, anytime he's in anything, you know, it's instantly my favorite. So it was great to see him in this, and I just love his delivery, and it felt very much like his Batman character. You know, he's obviously playing a superhero in this as well, with his very dry delivery of his lines, and, you know, the sarcasm as he's making fun of Skipper, being like, what kind of superhero are you? Like, we have to take the stairs? Like, are you kidding me? You can't fly? Like, what can you do? Like, how did you even get in here? And it's like, you're just a regular kid, you took the bus? Like, what is, you're rescuing me? What's going on? And I know it was a trap, obviously, to get, you know, Skipper there, because the mutant sent him this comic book. You know, Skipper goes to rescue this Galloping Gazelle, which is a very interesting name for a comic book character. And I don't know how the League of Good Guys would feel, considering the Galloping Gazelle just left Skipper there. Like, don't think that would qualify you into the good guy books, leaving this kid with, you know, an evil supervillain, but sure, here we go. He doesn't even try and help him. He's like, you know what, actually, not for me, and just takes off. Like, doesn't even try and help him escape, you know, nothing. Just instantly decides this is too hard, and he can't do it, so bye. which I feel like is hilarious in Adam West fashion, because again, just his delivery of things and that transition from the chair turning into the mutant. Like, this show had some interesting effects, and I think it did well. Like, even for, this came out in 1995, something like that. Like, I think they still stood up. Like, the spinning and the wind creating effect probably could have been better, but the transition from him to a chair and having the chair's arm become a snake, and he's like, there's a snake in my face, and just like, stating the very obvious things, and just so interesting. And the fact that this mutant could take on the shape of anything was terrifying, and, take on any form. And I knew Libby was up to no good, and of course she turns out to be the mutant, and that's kind of how Skipper fell into this trap, as when Libby finds out, or the mutant finds out, that Skipper knows everything about him, he's like, great, I can add you to my story. And it's interesting to think of this concept of comic book characters, sourcing the real world for characters in their comics. And we find out what that beam was, that electrical, x-ray, the scan basically that turned Skipper into ink particles, which is terrifying. Like, he's not human anymore. And when he said he wasn't real, I was like, okay, is this gonna maybe explain why his family hates comic books so much, and maybe his family isn't real, and like he only exists in comics but doesn't know it, like it's been a simulation or something like that. Like, I thought maybe that's where they were going to go with it, but no, apparently he's just entirely made up of ink now, and which I can imagine if you would have watched it as a kid and you liked comic books, you'd be terrified. And, even at the end when Skipper's like, if it's a comic book, get it away from me, he's done with these, and it turns out to be his own comic book, and, he's Elastic Boy now, and when his mom's trying to wash his hand because it's covered in ink, and it definitely sounded like stretching sounds. And then of course we cut to Skipper in the living room with his, full Elastic Boy costume, and he's got this evil laugh. So like, okay, are you a villain now? Like, is that where we're going? And just how bizarre it was to hear him basically write his own comic book story to try and defeat the mutant. He's like, oh yeah, I'm Elastic Boy. And I was like, is this a real character? Is this just a story you're making up for yourself? Because clearly the mutant thinks you're a comic book character, at this point. And so did the Gazelle. So he's like, okay, I'll just run with this. This is what they think. So sure, I'll give myself all these powers and maybe it'll come true, if this is my situation now that I'm made of ink. And that's exactly what happened. But how bizarre would that be to get a comic book in the mail and it's you as a superhero, and this is your new identity basically, and he's Elastic Boy, which sounds like a character out of Mystery Men. Definitely an interesting ending, and that was our twist. Goosebumps usually has this twist ending, so to find out he's this character. But I thought it was clever how he's like inadvertently said, you're like, oh, this is how you kill me, and it turns him into sulfuric acid. And I was like, where's this guy gonna just have sulfuric acid lying around? But since mutant can become anything, he decided to become that. But because Skipper knows everything about it, he knew that would kill him, which I thought was so clever. And to see him melted in the floor like that was so creepy. And, Skipper picks up his mask just to make sure that he's gone, and is so proud of himself for defeating this superhero. But yeah, a lot of effects in this episode, and I loved the superhero concept as well. Adam West with his antlers, and yeah, again, spinning and becoming the wind is probably the weirdest power you could have. I mean, unless you're Storm and X-Men, but I feel like that's way more intense because storms can be actually scary, and just spinning to create wind, and it obviously did nothing. But I still love seeing Adam West in this, and the headquarters set was so cool with these pipes in the background, this very industrial look, but also very bright colors at the same time. And that makes sense why Skipper was starting to see his dad in kind of comic book form, like with the ink dots. And, anytime he would talk, Skipper would kind of get very sweaty and trying to, it was like he was getting sick almost because his body was obviously switching into comic book form. So yeah, just a really interesting concept. If you're a big fan of comic books, this probably would have maybe made you want to stay away from them, because maybe you thought you'd be getting sucked into a comic book, or maybe you wanted to become Elastic Boy. I don't know. I feel like this was one of the more intense episodes that we had, maybe because it had the 2 parts, and we had, a whole second episode to dedicate to kind of the third act and this showdown. And, there's so many pieces of the chair with it turning into the mutant, and the melting, and the snake arm, and all of these different elements, and, Adam West spinning. And yeah, they obviously put a lot of time and effort into this, and I think it was very interesting. I don't know that I would rewatch the first one now that I know the setup, and finding out Libby is the mutant and, you know, his powers, he can become anything, is just terrifying. But a really great episode. I think it would have been maybe not scary to watch as a kid, but I think more curious to see, okay, is this going to happen to me? This kid became a comic book character, like what is that? And again, Elastic Boy just has, you know, elastic arms basically. But I really love the set design, you know, the costumes were fun, and yeah, all these bright colors. It's not a dark, you know, scary hideout. It's this like, there's red, there's yellow, there's blue, there's all these different colors involved to make it like super bright, which I thought was interesting. I mean, I know it's a kid's show, but still, it's like, this is supposed to be a villain, and I definitely feel like the League of Good Guys, you know, Adam West was referring to, is the Justice League. So yeah, they definitely had to find some creative ways to obviously get around, you know, copyright of using actual superheroes. And that kid took the bus like 50 times. Like, I feel like every scene it was him getting off the bus, and even the bus driver was like, what are you doing here? But obviously still, you know, drops him off in the middle of the night into nowhere. Overall, I thought it was a good way to end it. I thought maybe Skipper would become the mutant, but we see, you know, he defeats him and becomes his own character, which was interesting. And yeah, I don't know if there is a third version or a later book that comes out after this to continue on with Elastic Boy, or if he makes a guest appearance in any other books. But yeah, let me know in the comments. But yeah, it's just an interesting episode. Like I said, I don't think I would watch the first part again. It felt a bit slow, but they definitely made up for it. And I love Adam West. So great to see him in this, and you know, his body turning into ink particles, totally new. We haven't seen anything like this before in any Goosebumps episodes, so that was great. But thank you so much for sharing in this first time watching with me. If you have any other suggestions for TV shows you think I should watch, please comment below. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and check back often for more awesome content. And now he's seeing his dad in like comic book format. I definitely feel like this is a trap. Oh, why this like organ music? The danger like meter is at full capacity. Yeah, I love Adam West. Also, Galloping Gazelle is like the least threatening villain name ever. It's just called League of Good Guys. And the chair becomes the mutant. Da 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 da.